Okay, so let's go on ahead and get started here. So thank you everybody for attending today. This webinar, it's going to be a short presentation on Apptivo. It's specifically designed for people who are either brand new to the system, you're just exploring solutions, or you've just signed up. So this will be very introductory. If you're looking for some more advanced materials, I recommend you head on over to our community page or the YouTube channel. You'll definitely find some more information there. Otherwise, let's go ahead and let's get started. What we'll do is we'll take you through a couple different slides, just break down what Apptivo is at a very high level, kind of what problems the product solves, what it means to you, and how it might fit into your organization. Then we'll go switch into the application, and we'll actually go and walk through, show you around the interface, give you a feel for how to configure it. This whole presentation is going to be very generic. There's a lot of different solutions inside of Apptivo. So definitely we're not going to dive too far into how it works for any one industry or type of company. We're going to talk a little bit more about just kind of what general capabilities that the platform has available. So let's go ahead and let's dive in. First, the question is, what is Apptivo? So if you don't know, what we are is we're a cloud-based business software. It's a website out there. Anybody can go in there. All you need is a username and password. You can get to it from any internet connection and also from any device out there. What we have is there's kind of this core set of technology that we have, a basic built-in calendar, task management system. There's a general way to navigate around. And the whole system is based around this app store. So there's like over 50 plus applications sitting inside of there. And it's everything from a simple contact address book, a database to manage your products. There's an inventory app, there's an invoicing app, project management app. There's things from all of these different categories. So when you're looking at Apptivo and as far as like saying, what does it do for your business? There's really a lot of different ways that could come into play. So you might be looking for a CRM system right now. You might be looking for project management, financials. And the answer is that Apptivo is all of these. But one of the biggest benefits of Apptivo is they're all inside of one platform. So it's not like you install a couple different apps and they look totally different, they feel different, and they don't talk to each other. Apptivo is an integrated platform. So each one of our applications is designed to work with each other, allowing you to build these end-to-end business solutions. So that's what Apptivo is all about. It's an integrated business solution. So the whole platform, we got this common set of utilities. For you techies out there, there is a REST API. So if you do need to connect Apptivo to an outside system or to your website, you can do so there. And then the entire platform, well, at least on the newer applications, it's fully mobile friendly. So being a cloud system, all you need is an internet connection. So you can just bring up like a web browser on any device. Our V6 applications have a responsive web design. So even like the Invoicing V6 that just got rolled out, you can just bring up your mobile web browser. Although for both our CRM and invoicing solutions, you do have a native mobile app. So you can go to your Apple App Store or Android Play Store, and you will be able to download one of these apps directly onto your device. So one other kind of platform level thing that comes with Apptivo, regardless of how you use it for your business, is the support. So one of the very special things about Apptivo that differentiates us is, in addition to the standard support through online channels like your knowledge base and through email and phone calls, we also deliver built-in support chat. So as I'm navigating around the system in a moment, you'll actually be able to see the little support chat button right there. So if you or your employees ever have trouble, you will be able to talk directly to our support agents and get help. All right, so let's talk a little bit more about like how Apptivo is going to be pushed into your business. So we've covered that, yeah, it has 50 plus apps. It can be used in many different ways. So Apptivo, there's really two different ways of looking at deploying it, which is either you're looking for a point solution. You're just looking for one thing right now, like you came here because you wanted a CRM solution or you needed an expense management solution, or you want an integrated solution. And this could range everything from, well, I just want project management and invoicing because I want to track my time and my milestones and everything in project management, but then I want to use invoicing and bill for that time that I'd already tracked inside of there. Or this could be more like an end-to-end solution like we're looking at here, where you start off with doing your marketing activities, gathering leads, you take them through the progress, maybe you do some demos, you go meet up with them, we go and give them a quote for our services, then they agree to it, then we go launch that project, track our time, then we go move into invoicing. So Apptivo is all about putting together these business flows from end to end. And this is really where the different types of organizations will start to see Apptivo differently. So many applications, they're used by every type of organization. So really like the CRM or invoicing, pretty much every business needs to send invoices or track their customers. But then depending on the type of service or product that you deliver, you might need to track hours like we mentioned a moment ago. Maybe you send techs on site and they do materials and labor. Or maybe you just sell physical products and you need to do like shipment and inventory tracking. So what we have are these solutions of Apptivo apps that are very common. They're kind of generic for, like, let's say a professional service or a web design industry or construction industry, anything like that. And you can go and put together one of these solutions by just enabling a certain set of apps inside of Apptivo and then configuring them to all fit together for your organization. Although we have these great end-to-end solutions, totally unique to Apptivo as far as the price point that we offer, one of the great things is you can start however you want. So although you might think that it's great that you can do an end-to-end solution, right now all you need is invoicing, and you just want to be able to hop in there, send some invoices, and start billing your customers. In that case, you can enable just one or many apps in Apptivo. There's no per app pricing or anything like that. So it's simply a matter of choosing what you want to configure right now. If later on you want to go expand it, start turning on other items, it's just a matter of going to the App Store and turning them on. So it's a very flexible system. It's designed to grow with you, and there's no hidden pricing schemes that'll go and penalize you as you start to use more of the platform. Okay, so that's it for the kind of little overview of what Apptivo is. Let's go ahead, let's hop in and show you around the application. So Apptivo starts off with your main homepage dashboard. First, let's just talk a little bit about what common features are available, and then let's talk about how we navigate around and get to like that app store we spoke about, or how I get into one of the apps. So it starts off, you always log in and you come to your agenda right here. So throughout the platform, we have what's called our Contextual Collaboration. This is the set of common business utilities like your calendar and your task list. There's a place to upload files. You have an email integration that will connect to whatever email provider you have. But there's these common features. There's one set of dashboards, which is we're clicking through over here on the left navigation. And this will allow you to see the data in these common features throughout the entire platform. So if I go look back in my calendar right here, the idea is that these reminders to, let's say, call up a prospect or follow up with the customer with an overdue invoice, they'll appear in one dashboard. So even if you are using many apps, there's one central calendar for you. But what's special about the calendar and such in Apptivo is each one of these events is going to be associated with something. So this could be associated with an invoice, with an expense report, with the project, with a help desk ticket. Every one of the apps supports the calendar and the basic collaboration features. So yes, you'll get one unified dashboard, but it also allows you to use these within each application. So in a moment, when we go look at like a customer record or an invoice, you'll see how the calendar and the documents features directly integrate inside of each app. Okay, so to recap on the left navigation, these are what we call your homepage dashboards. They look across the entire business. And across the top, we have our main navigation, which has two components. Over here in the upper left, you have the Apptivo logo. So this always takes you back to the dashboard. If you just click on that, it goes right back to your agenda. And then you have the series of apps that this specific account has enabled. So one thing to keep in mind is if you have many employees, each employee will have a different set of apps that they access. So in that case, each employee can configure their own navigation. As an administrator, you might choose that certain employees can only access some applications. So you'll do all of that work. But then once you've determined what an employee can access, they're going to have their name up here. Got some basic controls like my preferences, setting my time zone, changing my password right there. And then the App Store. So really, this is the key. So let's go ahead and hop into the App Store. And in here, you'll see all of our applications that are available. So because I'm logged in as Kenny Clark here, he's an admin in the company, I'm going to have every application available to me. So if I look through, I'll see in human resources, there's like 6 apps in here. CRM, we've got a series of apps over inside of here. We've got financial apps. So it's really just a matter of coming through here when you're getting set up, clicking on each app to add it, and then it would go and it would appear inside of your navigation. And then there's different ways that you can go and customize further based on that. So you can actually come and set up like the exact order that your apps appear in. It's all stuff that you can do from within those preferences. Okay, so general ways to control it, but really the key thing is you're getting the list of apps that you access every day because most of your activities occur within each app. So then it comes down to, well, what activity? There's one database of customers. So if I want to look up the contact information for a customer or their history of purchases, I'll go to the customers application up here. If I wanted to see which invoices are currently overdue and then go remind people, I'll go to the Invoices app. Versus if I wanted to go look at my help desk tickets that are currently open, I'll move to the Cases app. So each app is kind of its own little area in Apptivo, but they are all highly interconnected. Let's start off. Let's go take a look at a contact in the Contacts app. So I just click on here. That will navigate me into the app. And then just like when I log into Apptivo, there's a home dashboard. There's also like a home page for each app, because each app has its own settings. It has its own saved searches, its own reports, everything like that. But then I'll show you how the data inside of each app can be connected with each other. So what's going to happen is, well, a contact, this is just a person. So what I have is, you'll see I'm in the Contacts app. I've got some basic ways to break down my contacts by their category, where they're located. I can create custom lists of contacts and save them over here. You'll see I can go search through, so I could go find somebody I'm looking for, or I could just go quickly type in Maxine and go find her. So I'm going to bring up this specific contact because I've got some information I want to show you. So each person, they have their profile, a couple different ways you can view your data. So here's what we call the side panel. There's also the detailed view. So here you can see I've got this nice little profile for Maxine, all of her contact information, all the details that are stored about this person, you can fully customize. So if we scroll down here, you'll see I've got this section called vacation data and property details. These are just a bunch of test fields that I've created as examples. So the idea is that the basic fields like email and phone number and name, those will come configured in each app for you right when you add it. But when you get into an app, you're going to be able to fully change it because every industry is different. You might have some unique processes that are just specific to your business, and you need to be able to go and store that information in here and go remove all the other stuff that just doesn't apply to you. So there's something called a master layout editor, where anytime you're looking at a record and you're looking at all the fields and information, you can delete that field, you can change the name of it, or you can add your own custom drop-down menus and date pickers and everything like this. So you have full control over the system. That's another cornerstone of Apptivo, is allowing that deep level of customization. So we've got the profile, you got your raw information. This is all the details that we've typed in over time. But you'll see that there's a series of tabs across the top of the page. So this is where those collaboration features that we spoke about come into play, like the calendar, for example. So up here, you have one tab for pretty much each one of those homepage dashboards that we saw at first. And this is where the context of the collaboration comes in. So what we mean by contextual collaboration is you're going to schedule a calendar event, and the calendar event should be standard, what everybody's used to, because you might be on Google Apps, you might be on Office 365, which, by the way, we have a two-way sync with Google Apps, but you want that calendar event to look and feel the same as it would anywhere else. So right here, we've got a title, location, date, standard stuff. What is unique is the context of this calendar event. So you'll notice when I created my calendar event right here, like let's say I'm going to get some lunch with Maxine, then I save the event, but it saves it with an association to Maxine. Now, the idea is that when I go and get lunch with her, maybe I need to give her a phone call. Maybe she's running late. I think she forgot the restaurant, or maybe I don't know how to find my way to the restaurant. I didn't include an address here. So the way that the system is designed to work with these common features is, well, normally you'll bring up your calendar. You'll say, hey, I've got lunch with Maxine. And it would stop right here. If you don't have a location, you got to go pull out your phone, bring up your contact list, find Maxine, call her. Instead, Apptivo links you to that information. So if this was related to a deal, a contact, anything like that, you just click on the hyperlink, and then it takes you into that record instead. So that's really the big difference, is all we do is add in that little link. So directly from your list of activities you have to do, you can get to the information that you need to perform. And so one question just got asked, which is, can you upload a current contact list, or do all contacts need to be manually entered? And yeah, many of the applications are going to offer import utilities. So when you're talking about like managing your data in bulk, especially in CRM, it's really common. One of the first things almost every business does is they use the CRM in Apptivo, and they bring over the contacts and customers from all their other systems. So pretty much any system should allow you to export to a spreadsheet or a CSV file. And then right here, there's utilities inside of each app where I can come in and upload a CSV file. And then there's a feature where I can just pick which fields in my file should map to which fields in Apptivo. So definitely before you do any uploads, you'll want to go through some of the customization first. That's actually a pretty good point to go show you a little bit about that customization, because I talked about how all the fields on Maxine's contact were customizable. So when you're uploading your data, you can choose exactly which details or which columns from your spreadsheet go to each field. You're just going to want to come into here into this master layout and set up the fields inside of Apptivo first. So one of the big things about Apptivo is it's very accessible. You don't have to be a programmer to go and make very complex changes to the system. Like if I want to add a drop-down menu with a list of options to each contact, see, I just drag over a drop-down, I click on it, name it whatever I want. So we could call this food preference. And then maybe I just give a couple standard options. So the idea is that through this simple interface right here, I can go configure if I want to default options. Like let's say I want everybody to default to pizza as their favorite food. You make your couple changes right there, you save them up, and then it instantly applies to the rest of the system. So as an administrator, even of a small business, it's really simple for you to come in here. You can fully customize your form, and then look at that. It took me 2 seconds. I hopped in there, I created a custom drop-down menu, and defaulted it to pizza whenever I go and create a new contact. So customizing Apptivo, very, very huge. Let's hop back into that contact. Okay, so we're back on the contact details, and we just showed you the contextual collaboration. All these other features like tasks and all that, they work the same, but let's give you a quick breakdown of what features are available. Basically what you have is task management, all the activities that you have to do in the future. We have communication logging, so there's a simple phone call log, although there are integrations with your cell phone if you use the native mobile app, and we do have an integration with RingCentral to automate the logging of calls for you. Then we have the email connector, which this is really powerful, used all over. In general, we can connect with any email account and sync the email. But what we do is, just like the calendar events are associated with your business data, we associate your emails to your business data. So this gets really cool when looking at like a contact. So I've got this one individual contact here, but then you might be using the help desk system, invoices, projects, etc. And what you want to see is you want to see all emails you've communicated with this one contact, but then you'd also be able to like to look at a specific deal and say, show me all emails relevant to this one deal. So what you'll see is our records can have many associations on them. So here I've got this email. It's related to Maxine because I spoke to her and her customer that she works for, Maxalon, and Jessica, the employee she's communicating with. And then you'll also see a help desk ticket. So she was talking about a particular help desk ticket. But then down here, I can see that I was talking with Maxine about a sales opportunity, but it's all present and brought into one page. So that's really one of the big things about Apptivo is bringing together data that's normally in different applications. So this is just a very simple piece where I've got an email that's relevant in 2 different applications, but we can take that one step further with the Newsfeed and 360 view. This is where Apptivo's integration really comes out. So for this, let me go and start to show you what it comes down to with associations between data. So we have like the email and tasks and notes and such, the collaboration records, but then there's all the different apps. So each app has a bunch of data in it. Like there's a bunch of contacts, you have a bunch of help desk tickets, you have a bunch of sales leads. So what I can do is I can actually link records into apps together. So this contact is linked with a company inside of the customer's application. So just like you'd expect, there's a hyperlink between the two. So from within the contact, I click on more details, it switches into the customer application. Then inside of here, you'll be able to see all of the other different information. So if I click on emails, now it shows every email related to this customer, not just related to Maxine. But then I can look at the Newsfeed in 360, and this is really cool. So what the Newsfeed does is it shows a complete history of activity inside of the system automatically. So whenever you're performing an action, like adding a contact or changing somebody's email or sending a new invoice, anything like that, it'll timestamp it. It'll show you where you performed the action and who performed it. So although it looks like mostly Kenny Clark here, it will show activities from all the different users. The newsfeed is secured, meaning you'll only see events that you somehow had access to, because you'll notice if I scroll down, like I see events from the invoicing application. So directly from the CRM, I can see their invoicing and project management and like field service, all their other activities across the business. But this means that I have a security role to access the invoicing app. So this will be a personalized newsfeed filtered down for what you can view, but it'll completely aggregate everything related to this customer account. So that's one thing that's really special. So here you can start to see this project is associated to this customer, but we only see the one event. So I created a new project. What the 360 feature does is it allows you to just go and search in real time and say, what projects are related to this customer? Show me all opportunities for this customer. Show me all invoices for this customer. So this is where all of our data gets brought together into one page. You'll see all the other apps that are associated with the customer's app. And using this feature, I can get a full invoice history for this Maxilon client. I can get that right next to their list of sales opportunities, which is right next to their list of help desk tickets. So Apptivo, it's all about bringing everything together. You'll notice that the CRM is kind of the heart of the whole system. All the information is going to be recorded and tracked, and it's going to be linked back to the customers and the contacts that information is related to. Okay, so that's kind of a quick little overview of we've got each app, we have all the records and the types of information that you can store with each one of them. Let's go ahead and just answer a couple quick questions here, which is, if this links to email, how secure is the system? And the system is very secure. So there's a lot of different measures that we take with Apptivo. Really two different categories of security when you think about it. There's external and internal. So on the external side, you're talking about like hackers and such, and is the data secured when it's communicated between the two different servers? That's all the kind of stuff that going to the cloud helps you with, is we take care of all that for you. So all your data is communicated over SSL, we encrypt all of your information, and we have a full 24/7 security staff who are completely just monitoring the system. So basically we're fully dedicated on that side. But then inside of the application, you also have a bunch of options that you can control. So you can control whether you want a fully open environment where everybody shares emails, or whether people are only able to see their own emails. I can get very, very granular. So when I get into the settings here, there's this whole role-based access control system where each app has a bunch of actions that you can perform, or what we call privileges. And every feature and field and action inside of the application can be limited. So it's only performed by people with a certain privilege. So you'll see like the calendar feature inside of the customer's app. By default, it works for everybody who has access to this app. You could actually create a special privilege and say that the calendar feature in the customer's app is only accessible to this special group of salespeople. In all other apps, it's accessible to everybody, but in the sales applications, I only want the salespeople using it. So you can get very, very granular with that types of control. And then, of course, you can set up rules like salespeople can only work on their own opportunities or their own help desk tickets, and also like certain details on each record. You can make fields read only. You can make fields completely invisible. You can restrict the ability to delete or export data out of the system. So a lot of different options when it comes down to security. And then somebody asked about calls are only tracked with RingCentral. Is texting history included? And the answer is no on texting. So yeah, it's just a basic call logging feature. It's actually still new. So if you're interested in learning more about that, go ahead and just contact the support team and they'll be able to fill you in. And somebody asked, can Apptivo automatically sync emails with Office 365? And the answer is yes. So the email syncing works with pretty much every single provider out there. If you have any major provider, definitely the answer is yes. With Office 365, we actually have upcoming calendar and activity syncs, which currently are not there. We do have calendar and activity syncs available for Google Apps customers. Okay, so back to the topic of the demo. What we've covered so far is we've talked about Apptivo as this big suite of apps. We looked at the common collaboration features available in each app. Then we took a look at one app and some of the configuration options and kind of what data is stored inside of there. So what I want to do now is I just want to hop in through a couple different popular apps that we use, give you a taste for some of the features that are specific to certain applications, and then we'll just hop onto the website and I'll show you where to go find more information on each specific solution and give you some hyperlinks that you can go to find like other webinars like this that'll talk about just like the project management if that's what you're interested in. So you can really get the details of how to set it up for your business. So let's go ahead. Let's take a look at the sales opportunities. So we looked at like your basic customer database, being able to see invoice history and such. A lot of people want to be just tracking their sales pipeline in the CRM system. So there's a whole suite of details around that. But you'll notice the common structure of Apptivo is, yeah, you've got just a list, like a table of sales opportunities. Each deal is going to have a series of fields or information about it, and it'll have a bunch of tabs with all the collaboration data and related information. So that's a standard structure. But when it comes to opportunities, you have things like there's a connection with the standard item database. So if I'm quoting certain services or products to my customer, I can put those products directly into the opportunity, and then they transfer along to the next step. Then there's also things like different reports and such that are available in each app. So specifically in the Opportunities app, we have a couple specific dashboards. So there's like a full quota management system in the CRM, and you can visualize using the sales funnel and such. So there's a couple different dashboards available, and each app is going to have different reports based on what you need. There's also a bunch of like kind of pre-canned reports inside of each app. So you'll see there's a ton of app reports inside of the Sales Opportunities app. And then one of the big things is going from stage to stage. So what you'll see is in a lot of the apps, you'll have conversion. So in this case, I can say from an opportunity, I'm allowed to go to an order, an estimate, or a project. And then the effect of that is if I take one of my deals, I can actually convert and go to the next step. So this is what's really special about Apptivo is there's not really many systems out there where you can convert and move data from one application to the next, where you can see that that item I selected on the opportunity just a moment ago, it automatically is copied directly on over into my estimates application. So let's talk a little bit about like estimates and invoices. Actually, the new version of Invoices just came out, just starting a couple weeks ago. So here's like the brand new version of Invoicing. And inside of here, what you have is inside of Invoicing, we have some integration with payment gateways. So being able to draft up an invoice, we do have recurring invoices. So you can send like subscription billing, or you can just send like a new invoice every month, something like that. That's what you see up here is I could do a monthly invoice. But it all just integrates back into the main customer database. So I could go find Maxilon inside of there. Here you're going to have payment terms, where the billing address is. There's different tools available to like print their previous balances or how much did they pay last time. And then there's also this whole PDF generation tool. So when you're doing quotes or work orders or invoices, there's a few applications in Apptivo where you're going to be able to print out a PDF copy of that record. So in that case, there's actually a different drag and drop builder specifically to customize your PDF files. So this is another just feature that you'll see available in a bunch of the different applications. Pretty cool feature right here. So otherwise, the invoices, there's a couple special things in there. So there's automated reminders to send them out. You can actually just create an invoice from data in another app. So for example, we mentioned projects are like tracking time. So maybe I've got a bunch of timesheets with time tracked inside of them, and I want to send the invoice to the customer for that time. So I can actually go find a series of timesheets that are ready to bill. And there's a special type of invoices specifically for when you have timesheets. So there's a lot of different flexibility like this inside of each one of the applications. This is where the end-to-end flows will come into play, where the system will know if you came from a product sales order, the invoice should look like this. But if you came from a services project, then the invoice should look like this. So invoicing, really huge. We talked a little bit about project management. So inside of here, you have the basic task management that's built into each application. But project management is specifically designed for helping you manage a bunch of different tasks. So it kind of serves two main purposes. One is, like the detailed task management of taking a large project, breaking it down into milestones, being able to visualize it inside of a Gantt chart, which, this one, the data is not that great on side of it. And then also being able to do the team allocation and billing capabilities. So there's a couple different ways you can bill for a project. You can come in, you can add a bunch of different team members. We can set up a different billing rate for each team member. Then they can track their time through like the timesheets application, or we do have a built-in timer function on each one of the tasks. And then you'll see that there's different ways that you can go track like how much money has been billed overall, everything like that. And there's actually a direct invoicing flow from inside of here. So project management is pretty popular. Another really popular one is our help desk, which is the cases application. So this is just a full ticketing app for your support needs. So inside of here, what you have is it's going to be heavily linked with customers and contacts. It's really about the basic information, but the key things on ticketing are going to be like workflow and notifications. So there's one special feature called SLA that you can write rules of what kind of response times that you want to promise to your customers, and you can go report to make sure that everybody is like, let's say, closing a ticket within 48 hours and at least responding to it within 4 hours. So there's actually ways you can come in here, configure up different rules. So I could set up like a bronze support package and say that these are the rules that I have to apply. And the system will go automatically notify people and reassign tickets when your business rules are not met. There's some like built-in features like this. There's also some fully custom workflow features. So actually, if you're interested in this kind of stuff, go check out the webinar that just got ran a couple weeks ago. Be sitting on that YouTube channel. It's related to automating your process with triggers. Because here you can go with a fully customized workflow where you come in and let's just say that I want to send an email when a certain event occurs. Like let's say a new case comes in and it is, well, a case is moved to the closed status. So let's just say notify on closure. So I can write a rule where if a case status is moved where previously it was not closed and now it becomes closed. Whoops, sorry. So previously the status is not closed. Now the new status is closed. And if the priority is 1. Whoops, sorry, not status. I want to say if the priority is severity 1. Then I want to send an email to somebody. So what you can do is you can actually go and update, and the system will perform an action whenever this event occurs. So, oops, case closed. And then you can send it to a specific person. So I can send it to like the support manager, or if I have like a manager, or I could send it to the customer who's currently associated to the ticket itself. But in this case, maybe I just want to notify like a team address or an individual, like let's say Susan is the support manager. So I just created a business rule where Susan automatically receives an email whenever a severity 1 support case is closed. Whoops, sorry. So you can do this sort of stuff just like that layout editor. You don't need a programmer. It just takes a little bit of kind of thinking about what your process should be. You hop in there and then you go configure all of your different workflow rules. Okay, so as mentioned earlier, really I could spend hours just going through all the different solutions. Today's session was all about giving you a feel for what Apptivo is capable of, some of the different options that are going to be available out there for you. So the way I want to go ahead and wrap up this session is just stepping on over to the Apptivo website. And I want to show you where you can go find more information about specific solutions if you wanted to learn more. So if you want to go and find like, okay, let's say the project management sounded interesting for your business. You want more details on that. What you do is head on over to the help section on the website and go to the starter guide. From within the starter guide, there's going to be this link down here called select your solution. So yeah, there's some other great links like the user manual and such, but specifically this post right here, what it does is you'll see that it lists out some of those common solutions that you saw up earlier in the slide deck when we were walking through, but it'll break them down in much more detail. So it'll give you some like a high level flow of what they go through, some types of businesses that typically use that solution, and then you'll see links right here for like a written and a video guide. So there's actually another 45-minute presentation specifically just on that one solution. Okay, so definitely hope that this session was useful to you. Hope you like Apptivo. So go ahead, tune on in. And if you'd like any more information, please check out our YouTube channel. So thanks again, and we'll see you next time.